For years, I was obsessed with having the perfect morning routine, because that's what everybody said you needed to focus on.
Every successful person, from Elon Musk to Cristiano Ronaldo, swear by their morning routine.
What is your morning routine?
Your morning routine.
Morning routine.
Morning routine?
I call it the $1 million morning.
I had to follow every step perfectly just so I could start my day.
This is the perfect, most ultimate morning routine known to man.
30 minutes turned into an hour, turned into 90 minutes, turned into 2 hours. But there was a big problem. That wasn't what I needed to do. I would pee. Wash my hands. 700 milliliters of water with a pinch of iodized salt, or a pinch of pink Himalayan salt, or some electrolytes, and definitely with some creatine. I get sunlight in my eyes. Thanks, Huberman.
Light viewing early in the day is the most powerful stimulus for wakefulness throughout the day.
And on my skin.
Getting some exposure of UVB onto your skin is going to be beneficial.
I would exercise. And meditation. And thinktation. I do breath work. And I visualize my ideal future. I brush my teeth and shower. I'd have the perfect breakfast with lots of protein, fiber. Fiber, we need more fiber. But seriously, did I mention fiber? I would read and journal. And after all of that, I would finally get to work. Sharing all of that might make it sound like a morning routine is a bad thing, and it's not at all. Especially, I believe, if you exercise first thing in the morning, that already right there costs you at least an hour, give or take. And then you throw in, 15 to 20 minutes of meditation in there, and that's a pretty sizable morning routine just right there. If you do those things first thing in the morning, your life will improve substantially, because everyone's talking about, wake up and get straight to work and deep work in the morning and eat that frog, but really, health is the #1 thing. And I think so many of us forget that, is that we want to go straight to the mission and then we exercise later in the day or meditate later. But everybody knows that if you put things later in the day, life generally happens and life will consume those things more often than not for most people. You'll get tired, you won't have willpower because that's an exhaustive resource like a battery. So throughout the day you have less of it to convince yourself to go in the afternoon or the evening. Because without your health, you cannot work on your mission. And not only that, when your health is taken care of first thing in the morning, everything you do is amplified and compounded to better results. You feel good. You've set your mind, you've set your intentions, and then you can get to work. So is a morning routine a bad thing? No, but there was one very, very important thing that I was missing this whole time to make the morning routine absolutely perfect. You need to have a bedtime. And oh yeah, having a bedtime is not just for your morning routine to work well. The most important thing about having a bedtime, when you go to bed at the same time, you can wake up naturally. The single greatest thing is that you don't need an alarm clock if you do this. If you don't have kids, or you have kids that are a bit older, you can wake up without an alarm clock and still be on time for work every single day if you go to bed at the same time. Within 2 weeks, your body is going to naturally wake up around the same time, maybe 60 minutes, give or take. We sleep in 90-minute cycles. That's the circadian rhythm. It goes, about 90 minutes, up and down, up and down. You do not want to wake up in the middle of those. 1, you get shocked awake. 2, you might break your REM sleep, which you have in the morning, which is essential for processing emotions and memory and learning. You're gonna feel tired and groggy. If you just remove the alarm clock, your body will wake up naturally. And it all starts with having a bedtime. Having a bedtime doesn't just start at the time you go to bed. It starts about 4 hours before you have to go to bed. Many people say have a bedtime routine for an hour or 2 hours before bed, and that's all great and dandy. But what's even better is just having a hard stop for the day, and once you do that, everything kind of naturally flows into getting you into bed on time. Having a nighttime routine starts at one particular singular moment when you stop working. I read this first in Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, where he calls it a shutdown routine. When I finish my day, I say, shutdown complete. And I read that, I was like, that is ridiculous. But it started to make more and more sense to me that to have a good evening and a good bedtime and a good nighttime routine, you need to stop at some point. Because let's be honest, we all know that when we finish work, it's not finished forever. There's more to do. And that's why this shutdown ritual is such a great place to start your nighttime routine. The shutdown ritual is just saying we are done for the day and having steps that you follow every single day so your brain gets trained. Like, that's it, we're done for the day, here's where we're stopping, we're not taking this work with us. Our brain likes closed loops. If we start something, our brain's job is to finish it. So that's why so many of us are stressed out all the time, because we start things and then we're thinking about them all the time until they're absolutely done. You need to tell your brain, it's okay, we're gonna stop right here, but tomorrow we're gonna pick up right here, and here's what time we're going to do it. Now, some people work better later at night, but even then, having a shutdown ritual still works. It doesn't matter what time you finish, and even if you go a little bit later, it's still that you have the steps in place to follow. It tells your brain like, okay, this loop isn't closed, but we're gonna get to it later, and I feel pretty good about that. Now, one thing many people don't talk about is when you're done with work, change your clothes. Get into a different uniform, your evening uniform. Let your brain know like, hey, work time is over. We're gonna get cozy now. After you've done your shutdown routine, then you said, shutdown complete. Go exercise. If you haven't already in the morning or the afternoon, what you do during the day affects how you're going to sleep. You need to move your body if you want to sleep well. And exercise is the single most important thing you can do for your longevity, health, and happiness, and maybe sleep as well. And that's why we're talking about this. Try to eat dinner about 3 hours before you go to bed so your body has time to digest. If you eat too late to when you go to sleep, your body's still going to be working, you're going to sleep a little bit warmer, it's going to process, you might not fall asleep as quickly, and you might not get into as deep of a sleep as you want. This might blow most people's minds, but try to eat your food without watching anything. Just try to be present with your food and the people that you're eating with, as opposed to just mindlessly scrolling and eating at the same time. This can help with just enjoying your food. You can actually taste it, because when you're watching things, you can't actually taste anything because you're not paying attention to it. And also this might help with satiety if you're paying attention to what you're eating, how you're eating. Maybe you can notice full signals when you're full and you won't have to eat as much. After you eat dinner, one of the best things you can do is go for a 10-minute walk, and you have to do it within 30 minutes of finishing your meal to get the biggest benefits. It helps with that post-meal crash that you get. It helps with gastric emptying, lower glucose spikes, metabolism. It helps stabilize a couple of hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone, so it helps to stabilize that and settle your food so you're not so hungry later on. This has big consequences down the road and long term, so you won't be hungry. Preferably you won't be having a big snack later in the evening. It also helps with weight loss. It helps with stress levels. It helps lower your body temperature. I also tried to get some sunset light in my eyes. Thanks again, Huberman.
Viewing evening light can partially offset the negative effects of bright light later at night.
Personally, I just like it because I think the sunsets are absolutely beautiful, and I get to go for a walk. Who wouldn't want to go for a little 10-minute walk out there?
When we view light and how much light could make us feel happier or less happy or even depressed, stressed, learning, etc., even if we're sleeping and waking up at the appropriate time.
Bingo.
Any of my night owls who are depressed or unhappy or unmotivated, you might not be a night owl. You might be a morning person with the wrong circadian rhythm. For about 20 years, I was solely convinced that I was a night owl. But then I grew out of that. Your circadian rhythm changes over time. And the best way to find out what you are, whether it's a morning lark or a night owl or a true night owl, is to do the right things.
The only way to really know if you're meant to be an early bird, as they call it, an early person or a late person, is to get morning sunlight and figure out whether or not that makes you feel better.
getting up and getting sunlight in your eyes, thank you Huberman, is one of the most important things for setting your circadian rhythm up. So you get sunlight in your eyes, about 14 hours later you start to get tired and you go to bed 16 hours later. But most of us don't do that at all. This is incredibly important, is you might just be missing your sleep window. We have a very short sleep window, let's say somewhere between 8 and 11 for the majority of people. Think about it, like we were around for tens of thousands of years. Sure, some people say some people in the tribe had to stay up late and stay on guard and watch for animals coming in. Yeah, you probably weren't one of them. There maybe were 1 or 2 people out of a tribe of 100 or 150 people. If you are a night owl and you are sad and depressed and having a hard time falling asleep or waking up and you feel groggy and you need tons of caffeine, chances are you just have a horrible circadian rhythm. You haven't done the right things in the evening to go to bed. And then when you don't do that, you miss your sleep window. If you believe you are a night owl, but you feel unmotivated or you need tons of caffeine and coffee to get you going and you feel drowsy in the morning, and your life just feels a little bit misaligned.
If that cortisol pulse shows up later in the day, then it's associated with depression.
Chances are you're probably not a night owl. You're more of a morning-leaning person who has horrible nighttime habits. Are you more powerful than that yellow flaming ball in the sky? Probably not. And the science shows when you get sunlight in your eyes in the morning, like early morning sunlight, you can reset your circadian rhythm.
By shifting that cortisol pulse earlier in the day, you ameliorate some of the symptoms of depression. And because of the dopamine release, you get this overall mood enhancement.
I'm starting to think that being a night owl isn't so many people. It's just devices and lights.
The environment around us is converted into a signal that changes the environment within us. That signal is melatonin.
After that, when the sun goes down, dim the lights, turn off the nasty blue fluorescent lights and just dim things. Maybe an hour or 2 before you're going to bed. And it tells your brain, okay, it's time to chill and mellow out.
At night, even a little bit of artificial light can really mess up your so-called circadian, your 24-hour clocks.
The next thing, at least I like to do, is have a warm shower or warm bath. Having a warm shower or bath has been shown to help reduce stress, help with sleep onset, and just help you relax a little bit. The ultimate goal is not to have this big, long, massive night routine. It seems long because I laid things out step by step here, but you know, and I know, most nights don't go like that. When you know all of these things and you see what a nighttime routine looks like and different aspects of a nighttime routine you could put or try in your life, then you know things that you can try and to sleep better. You're having an hour or so where you wind down a little bit in the evening, but most people aren't. They're working pretty much all the way, or they're on their computer or watching TV or on their phone all the way up until, you know, right before when they go to bed, and then they try to turn it off. It's not going to happen. Your mind needs some time to wind down. Look how bright that is. That's what you just have in your eyeballs at 8, 9, 10 p.m. No wonder you can't fall asleep. No wonder you think you're a night owl. No wonder you don't sleep as well as you think you should. It's not just how you fall asleep, how quickly you fall asleep. It's about the type of sleep you're getting. When these things are happening and this bright light is happening, sure, you might be exhausted and pass out, but you're probably not getting the right kind of deep sleep or the right amount of REM sleep and light sleep. And these are all tiny important factors I knew nothing about until I tried a nighttime routine. The issue is the screen, because it's not just, hey, no screens 1 hour before bed. The question is, what do we do when we don't have a screen? What do you do in the night to fill that 1 hour or 2 hours of a nighttime routine? You want to just veg out and watch some TV or some Netflix or your phone, some YouTube? I recommend having a quick warm shower. Really, don't make it too long. When we're doing like a mildly conscious activity like walking, washing dishes, showering, we get more creative and connect the type of ideas. So usually I'll get some ideas in the shower and I come out here and I just journal. And honestly, this has been a life changer for me, always having a journal with me. So I do the bullet journal and I'll go through and just make sure I check off everything that I did. That check off of just like, boom, done, feels amazing. Closing the loops, as long as you recognize, okay, I did this, good, loop closed. But the things that you didn't finish, you're going to move to the next day. And then I just list out, you know, the same thing I do every morning, which is gym or exercise and then kind of meditation. Like I said, this morning routine, I obsessed about it for years. And after all of those years, what I came down to was that. Wake up naturally without an alarm, exercise and meditate. If I do those two things, that's it. It's perfect. Drink this many liters of water and go tan up your skin and make sure you stare at the sunlight with your eyeballs and eat at a certain time and eat this every single morning. Make sure you read and you got a journal for 3 pages every single day. Same with the nighttime routine. You're gonna have all these little different things, and maybe by the end of it, you just pick 2 or 3 things and you put them together, and that's your new nighttime routine. Something to do for, 30, 40 minutes, and that's it. Look at this bright light though. I have the night mode that goes on, and that dims it a little bit, but even still, that's actually a little side tip. I heard it first from Alex Hermosi, is to put your phone on grayscale.
I actually turn my screen into black and white. And so you can fix this in the settings, and what happens is all of a sudden you stop reaching for your phone as much because it becomes less addicting.
Now you can do this through the day, but I have it go on at a certain time in the evening and it goes to grayscale at night, and it's horrible. Like, you don't want to look at anything. Social media becomes just such a Debbie Downer. So there's another thing too. You could use the modes and routines on your phone. Maybe you want to go to bed at 10 p.m., which is reasonable. You just have your phone go into night mode at 9 p.m. That's it. It just goes into grayscale, and maybe it switches on a sleep story or something like that. I know some people talk about it locks this app and stops this and that. No, just it goes onto grayscale. The end. Now, hopefully you're not super gross and you brush your teeth at least. And always floss, by the way. Floss every single night and do it the right way, and get a tongue scraper. Now, for those people who are big into supplements, a lot of them that are tested show that they're not very good quality, or they're just filler. And here's the one thing I always think of. The supplement industry is not regulated. I repeat, it is not regulated. I could start a supplement company tomorrow and nobody would ever check what is inside those. Sure, I could say they're third-party tested.
There are some garbage quality proteins out there that are on the shelves of oftentimes like the biggest retailers. They're in it to make money. They're not in it to provide high quality.
You should focus on getting the right nutrients from food, first and foremost. But with that said, I do think some of them are very helpful. I think we need more fish in our diet, and if you're not eating fish 2, 3, maybe even 4 times a week, and the right kind of fish, then you need an omega-3 supplement. A lot of people aren't getting enough vitamin D. Like, I'm here in Thailand, so I'm getting sun all of the time, and I treat it like medicine, but a lot of people aren't, and they're not getting it on their skin. So you want to take a vitamin D supplement. This one right here is magnesium. I think a lot of people, myself probably included, are magnesium deficient.
Physically active adults actually require anywhere between 10 to 20% more than the RDA.
And this could lead to a lot of problems. And magnesium is incredibly important.
Magnesium is a cofactor in at least 300 enzymatic systems in the body.
Now, there are different kinds of magnesium, but the one that most people are gonna wanna take is magnesium glycinate. And this is a great one to take before sleep. It's the issue with a lot of these supplements as well, is we take these supplements, we could even see it in blood work and on blood panels, and it shows like it's in our bloodstream, but does it really get into the cells where we need it to be? So it looks like we have it in our system, but is it really working and doing everything? This is why I think about things like vitamin D. Like, you need it really from the sun on your skin, I believe. Sure, taking a supplement shows it at blood serum levels, but is it actually working? I don't know.
I can think of no other form of energy, not sound, not chemical energy, so not drugs, not food, not touch, no form of energy that can target the particular locations in our cells, in our organelles, in our organs, and in our body to the extent that light can.
Now, your bed should be used for only 2 things: sleeping and sex. Maybe we'll say sleeping and reading and sex, and that is it. You should do nothing else in your bed. Have your phone near you if you need it. You just have to have discipline. You don't use your phone at night, and you just don't use your phone in the morning for as long as you can, up until lunch or the afternoon, if possible. You need to enjoy going to bed. No one talks about this. They're just like, yeah, go to bed, read a chapter, and then, no screens and fall asleep. We don't want to go to sleep because we don't want to stop what we're doing. We're watching something interesting, or we're just getting our easy dopamine. But what if you have something you're looking forward to and you're excited about? You don't want it to be too stimulating, and you don't want it to be too boring, because you want to look forward to it. It's got to be that Goldilocks zone, like hardcore history, or maybe a history podcast, or a cool sleep story that you're excited about. Or maybe it is a really, really good book that you like to read. I recommend having a couple books on your bedside table. I have 4 right now, and this just helps you choose between whatever you're in the mood for, because like I said, you should have something that you're excited for. And here, this shows you how nerdy I am. Got your old headlamp right there, boom. Easy to read. All secrets are coming out tonight. Most people say just have a paper book by your bedside with a nice lamp. I don't read this as much as I should, but I love it because when I do read it, it's just there for me. It's a Kindle. You can warm the screen a little bit. There are some studies that show that when you read this, the light can delay melatonin release, and it might be harder to fall asleep. But honestly, if you're excited to get into bed, it keeps you on your bedtime. You actually read a little bit, go for it. 100% read as much as possible, as much as you can, all of the time. But if you have to be on a screen, having a pair of blue light blocking glasses isn't the worst thing that you can do. Do they work? Well, maybe, I'm not so sure. But what does work is dimming the lights and turning off the screen. Let's get into a few other key fundamentals. First, how long should you be sleeping? At least 7 hours, but there's something called sleep opportunity, so you want to give yourself maybe 8 to 9 hours in bed, because there's time to fall asleep, there's waking up a little bit through the night, so you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep. Try and do your best. Next is how cold you want your room. You want your room to be cold, like actually cold. 18 degrees or 19 degrees Celsius, which is about 64 to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. It should be pretty chilly, almost to the point where you're like, "Ooh, I don't want to get up." The reason for this is your body needs to drop in core temperature, and having it cold is super helpful. But one thing I always think about all the time is you need your core temperature to drop, but you need your hands and feet to be warm. So that's why, maybe throwing on a pair of socks when you go to sleep can help you fall asleep a little bit faster. Once you have the room super cool, you need the room to be super, super dark as possible. How about this? I love this thing. It's cozy, it's soft. There's your blackout curtains right there. I'm gonna make another video later about breathing out of your nose and not your mouth. It's a little breathe right strip. Do they actually help? Maybe, but I would recommend if you're gonna do this. I got my little roll right here. I see so many people online selling these like huge strips that cover their mouth. You don't need to cover your whole mouth, and that can feel claustrophobic for a lot of people. The whole point of a piece of mouth tape is just like a little stamp size. And now you can, if you need to yawn, you can breathe out the side. You can even talk a little bit. You don't have to put an entire muzzle on.
Only thing you need is a piece of very weak tape.
Yeah.
I just put it right here.
The whole point of mouth tape is not to seal your mouth shut. It's to train your lips to be closed, especially when you're sleeping. It's time for bed. Oh yeah, if you like this and you learned something, subscribe to the channel, because I'm always teaching this kind of stuff. I'll see you in the next video.